AskReddit by Jbams. Former flat earthers. What made you come round? I talked to a flat earther about my job working for a company that tracks ship locations, routes, and speeds by satellite. We also had ways of monitoring carbon emissions based on fuel consumption and known weather conditions. None of this would work at all if the earth was flat. Not a jot of it. I could only explain the most basic concepts, but it was enough for him to understand and realize that I was right and that he'd been convinced by someone who had no practical experience of the spherical nature of the earth. I think that's what really did it. My experience was really tangible. This happens, then we measure this etc, etc. No theory, just practice. A bit like showing a child a rock dropping to the ground in order to explain gravity, rather than giving them the whole theoretical shebang. You know? Edit. Sorry, it's a bit rambling, I'm so damn tired. So he didn't just say you were in on the conspiracy? The Mobius strip earthers had more compelling arguments. No, there would be no need for arguments since we're all on the same side. Kyrie Irving hasn't been doing press conferences. Man's just disappeared from the court like he fell off the disc. Quote I got from somewhere. For 5 years I believed the earth was flat, then I turned 6. July 5. I convinced a flat earther, temporarily, by asking him if it was possible for a sphere to be so large that you could not tell it was a sphere by simply being on the surface of it. It took him a while. I used an analogy of an extremely long line that was so slightly curved you could not tell so by looking at a small section of it. Eventually he said yes to the sphere and I told him that was how big the earth is. A few days later he reverted. Most of these people aren't mentally stable. They believe in a lot of conspiracies. Edit. Corny edit. But as connoisseur of flat earth content, my personal favorite is Professor Dave. https://www.youtube.com/c/Professor Dave explains /videos ? View 0 ampersand semicolon sort p ampersand semicolon flow grid closed bracket on YouTube. He is a underappreciated dude who just had a science channel on YouTube and got brigaded by flat earthers for an unrelated video. He made like 6 video responses in total just owning these guys, but they eventually gave up. Check it out. What I like to do is use telescopes. This telescope is strong enough to see distant stars and galaxies. Yes? Okay, look out this direction across the ocean. Can you see Europe? Edit. RIP my inbox lol. Look, it's really easy. If the earth is flat, there would be an edge, S. And there would be a fucking Disney park at the edge, and we could bungee jump off the side and paraglide into the void etc etc. Someone would be making an absolute shit ton of money off of it if it existed. Guess what? Nobody is doing that ADN in this world where absolutely everything is exploited for profit. If no one is making money off of it, it does not exist. No edge. Not flat. Get a clue. Let's not forget it'd be the cleanest and success guaranteed suicide. I mean, depending what's down there. Unless it's an endless void and all you do is keep falling until you starve. You know what? Never mind. I watched a documentary about flat earthers called Truth Behind the Curve, and my analysis from watching that these flat earthers are a group of people who found a community to be a part of. It's a shame their community is based on a lie, but I saw a bunch of people who were to be part of a community. Most of the people were social awkward and whatnot, and so an opportunity to be an influential figure within the community, so they double down on their flawed logic. The more against you are of them, the harder they rep their flatness. TLDR, I see flat earthers as a group of lonely people looking for a community that will accept them. Edit. WTF, did not expect this comment to blow up. Thanks for the silver and the dialogue everyone. They actually did an experiment, and that if they got one result, the earth was flat, if they got the other, it was round. Experiment showed that the earth is, drumroll, round. They claimed it was human error that caused the wrong result. I was debating a flat earther in Mexico, and I asked him about how GPS worked if there were no satellites. He said that they had devices in the ground to route you. I told him the Mexican government is barely able to put decent water pipes in the ground. Would he really think they had the tech to put routing devices in the ground? He chuckled with a 1,000-mile gaze. I mean, with all the money go to routing devices in the ground, no wonder there is no money left. A serious answer here. The thing that made me stop was just the question, why would NASA lie to you? I will try replying to all of y'all, but will go to a study hall, so I'll reply later. Not to mention the numerous space programs from countries that actively dislike each other but only cooperate on this singular issue. I spent about a year infiltrating the flat earth community on Instagram. I garnered a decent following with an account dedicated to flat earth travel photos, an intentionally absurd premise. In that time I learned quite a bit about the community, including how to discern the trolls from the real deal. The majority of legit flat earthers are extremely distrustful of anything the government says or does. These same people are 9/11 truthers, Holocaust deniers, and anti-vaxxers, and they connect these conspiracies together. Many of them have also attached flat earth theory to religion, magic, or mysticism. Before my infiltration I'd always considered conspiracies fun. Like they were the fan fiction of real life. Now they mostly make me sad. For all the phony accounts like mine, there are still plenty of people out there willing to drop a couple of $100 on a flat earth convention. Had to travel to Japan. Gave up on my beliefs in order to make a shorter trip. I said the same thing on another post. However, someone more familiar with the conspiracy said they believe the earth is actually a circle with the North Pole in the middle with the South Pole, or Antarctica encircling us. For me it just brought up more questions. Our government couldn't even keep Bill Clinton's Oval Office blowjob a secret. You really think they can keep something that big a secret? Deleted. Once they've realized their mistake, I'd say they're really on the ball. Oh, they move on to join the Q cult. Seriously, https://yahoo.be/jtfhyYTUT44?250 I was hoping to see this documentary in here somewhere. Goddamn, what a great video. I was tired of living life on the edge. I've been to the edge. And I've been to the edge. Yes, I've been to the edge. I've been to the edge. And God knows if I've looked down. Look down. I've been to the edge. Not me, but got a flat earther to question his beliefs, and hopefully critically analyze them, by giving him the proof he asked for, to which he responded mainstream science and media are lies. I asked why he asked for proof if he could just disregard it as lies either way, then told him that since he required no proof, or evidence against, to believe something, it made him the easiest person to deceive, and that it seemed pretty sheep-like to me. He deleted all of his flat earth comments and hasn't posted about it since. And X200B. Eater, Holy Round Earth, Batman. Thank you for the karma and awards and Gould. I promise I'll screenshot next time. Eater 2, he didn't block me, I can still see everything he posted, and the OP thread creator also said the comment disappeared. Shame. 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 He probably didn't change his opinion, but he did become ashamed of it, which is a good start. Surprisingly enough. Facts and logic. More specifically, star patterns. What we observe cannot happen on a flat earth. So no one with serious responses. I was kinda looking forward to reading the replies. Deleted. No one took me seriously. I fell into a rabbit hole of conspiracies. Thankfully, Physics is a mandatory subject in Switzerland. Made much more sense than any top 10 facts that prove that the earth is flat. My Phil is a flat earther and all around nutcase. I asked him if the earth was flat and you was right. What then? How is your life any different? His face was priceless because he didn't have an answer. It was great. Genius and pragmatic in getting to the underlying issues there, haha. Did any of you former flat earthers just believed because you wanted to be unique and different from everyone else? I suspect that some people who deny shit like this are the same people who just wants to be different. They'll say they disliked a movie because the majority likes it. They'll say they don't enjoy a type of food cause most do. Basically, they don't really care how they truly feel about something. They just want to be different and say the opposite of the majority. Maybe not with everything, but they'll choose a few things in life because they want to feel special. It's because most conspiracy theories, even the really complex ones, are about solving their deep-seated sense that something is wrong with the world, rather than looking out how things are structured economically and socially, because that is infinitely more complex than even the most insane conspiracy theories. They simply reduce the world to good guys and bad guys and sheep. It's comforting for many to think that the world is no more complex than a long-running TV show. Having a big, evil scary thing with a face is less terrifying than infinite chaos with really no one in charge of it all. That's also partly why religion plays so much of a factor in too many conspiracies. Yeah, you really need to use the serious tag. People on here are idiots lol. This obviously isn't a serious post. Come round, this post is an invitation for bad puns. I tried to convince others that the earth is a circle but they wouldn't listen. It's pointless. They just keep on going on circles. I once had a conversation with a professional UFC fighter and outspoken flat earther. I tried to explain how Archimedes was able to prove the earth was round just by using his shadow. I mentioned air travel and how Hawaii and Japan are not 20+ hours of flying apart. But what I think got through to him the most was seasons. This particular guy was Brazilian. I explained that because the earth is round, it's possible to be winter in Brazil and summer in the USA and vice versa. He nodded instead off into the distance silently and the conversation was over. I don't think I converted him, but it gave him significant pause at the very least. I always have 2 questions for flat earthers. 1. Do you believe in Pearl Harbor? 2. If yes, can you explain to me Japan's flight path? They did use aircraft carriers. It took about 5 years. It was out of willful ignorance on my part. I just refused to question the logic of it. In fact, I spent most of my time coming up with crazy fantasies about a lot of things I didn't understand. But you have to understand that there is just so much we don't know about that sometimes our priority on what is real and what can be believed can get confused. I was learning so much so fast that I really didn't question something so inane as the world being flat. Of course it was. Why wouldn't it be? The day that changed it forever though was when I asked my father what happens when you get to the edge of the world. He of course said the world is round like a ball. Being about 5 years old, I thought that made a lot of sense. There are flat earthers all over the globe. There are flat earthers all over around the globe. Okay, I get the question is funny and all, but I actually did believe, for a time, that the earth was flat. I was raised in a very religious family, and basically came to the conclusion that the Bible declared the earth was flat. Because since I believed the earth was created in 7 days, the idea that God set the stars in the sky in one day made much more sense if the stars were simply points of light in a sort of snow globe formation extrapolated onto a bigger scale. Otherwise, he took 1 day out of the 7 to make a septillion or so balls of flaming gas, all with their own planets, and set each one into galaxies before breaking for lunch. It just didn't make sense to me that he would spend 5 days on one planet, and make the creation of the trillions of other stuff in the universe a little footnote. I was confronted about this belief a couple times, only one of which wasn't log. I read it to the end before I commented, but don't fret. I saw your mama and thought, there's no way the earth can be flat. I saw your mama and thought, if the earth wasn't flat before, it sure as hell must be now.